the Double Dose Podcast, brought to you by Chanda and Chanelle on the Revolt Podcast Network.
Listen, we're so excited.
We are one set of twins
with two different perspectives.
Y'all, I am so excited to be here today because we have a whole legend.
A legend.
Listen, you know, TikTok said Michelle Williams ain't never seen a bridge that she can't cross.
Okay.
Period.
Miss Bridge Crosser.
Miss Bridge Crosser.
Okay.
We have none other than Miss Michelle Williams.
What's up? Hello.
Hi,
Thank
how
you
are
so
you?
much for coming.
Of course, girls. It's so good to sit with y'all today. Thanks for having me.
I'm
so excited.
Yes, super excited. So Miss Michelle, if we can just go ahead and hop right in, is that okay with you?
Yes, let's go.
Let's do it. So firstly, who is Miss Michelle Williams? Like, how would you describe yourself?
I think the older I get, kind of laid back, observant, but at the same time funny, depending on how comfortable I'm able to get with people that I know, and caring, loyal, and I love good food. It probably don't look like it, but I am a foodie. I love good food, and I really just like to chill. I'm a homebody.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have some things in common,
Right? Because
Yes.
somebody do. Yes.
And the food.
I love it.
Do you cook?
Once I feel like it, I will cook. I don't wake up every morning like, ooh, I feel like doing pot roast today. Ooh, I feel like frying some fish. I don't. It just kind of depends. I've got to eat. So, I will do breakfast. It depends. I love my air fryer.
Yes.
Somebody recently gave me the air fryer that's a pressure cooker all in one, and they were like, girl, you can make the best oxtails or the best greens in this pressure cooker. So we'll see. I have yet to use the pressure cooker part, the air fryer.
Okay. The oxtails, though, I haven't had that in a while. So,
Well,
we're pescatarian now,
Yeah.
but it's like,
Okay, yes.
When you hear it, it's like, oh, wow, I haven't had that in a minute. That sounds good.
But pescatarian, you can do chicken and fish, right?
Mostly
just
seafood.
fish. Yeah,
Mostly just seafood, no chicken.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. I don't know why I thought pescatarian was you could eat meat, just no red meat, but all seafood.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, that's us.
Awesome. And you were recently at the Mental Wealth Expo this past weekend?
Yes, I was recently in New York for Charlemagne's his mental health foundation called the Mental Wealth Alliance. And so it was so good to see the room filled with just Black people on the topic, in New York, in honor of World Mental Health Day, which as we are, that day just passed. So I'm just really, really, really excited about what Charlemagne is doing, and I stand with him, and anyone that's advocating on the topic of mental health.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We got a whole mental health expert here on the pod.
Okay.
So she...
Yeah, so I'm a psychologist, so it's definitely something that I love to dig into and love to talk about. And I'm curious to hear more about like your journey in mental health and kind of like what prompted you to want to advocate for it.
Okay, so my journey on the topic of mental health. So I believe we all have mental health, but not everybody has mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I've heard people say mental health is real. Mental health is real. And I'm like, what are you really meaning to say?
Yeah.
Is your diagnosis is real, but everyone has a mental health, just like everyone has reproductive health, cardiovascular health, the health of your nervous system. Everybody has the health of your mental state, your emotions. So I just wanted to kind of clear that up, that mental health is not mental illness. Again, everybody has mental health, but not everybody has mental illness. All right.
Yes.
So my journey of mental health kind of started really paying attention to it when I just kind of saw what I would say a decline in the state of my mental health. I would say about 2012. Now, in the early 2000s, I did think that I was having moments of depression. But at that time, Destiny's Child was touring. And so then I just thought, well, maybe I'm just burnt out. Um, but once I got the diagnosis in my 30s, later on, we realized that I had, in fact, been suffering with depression since around the age of the seventh grade.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Now, just because I've been functioning and excelling, depression was still there. Okay, so successful people can be depressed. It does not have a look. I know back in my time, I'm in my 40s, so depending on who's listening to this, you know, in the 90s, I heard of cancer, lupus, pneumonia, AIDS was beginning to be talked about heavily. And then there was the category of crazy.
Yes.
Crazy was the person who you could literally look at them and say, okay, something is mentally wrong with them. Versus the person that maybe deals with anxiety, the person that's bipolar, even you can, if your mental health is, if a mental illness is treated, you can walk around and be totally normal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so I never thought that it was depression. I thought it was growing pains in the seventh grade. I thought this was me being hormonal and turning into a woman. And I was like, well, being a woman is for the birds if this is what I'm going to feel like,
For
And
sure.
so, at that time, I just remember my grades dropping, isolating, not wanting to be involved in a lot of things. And again, when you have a teenager or someone in the sixth grade, you're kind of, you don't want to be around mom and daddy anymore. You want to be grown. You want to stay in your room. You want to talk on the phone. Back in the day, we had the phones where it was click over, three-way patching in three-way calls. Y'all don't know nothing about that. So it was nothing. Now, to today's teenager, it's nothing for them to be holed up in their room on their gaming system.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Or that teenager could be sleeping all the time. So, sometimes when that child's door is closed for a few hours, you need to open up that door and kind of maybe see, what's going on. Now, they can have their privacy too. I don't believe in a child or a teenager cannot have any privacy, but don't dismiss those signs and maybe pay attention a little more and ask your child, and create a safe space for them to tell you what's really going on. And y'all, I'm really congested.
No, you're good.
My allergies are insane, so I can hear that I don't sound like myself, so please excuse me.
You are fine. Right. We're over here.
Yes.
But no,
yeah, thank you for that transparency.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Like, we appreciate the transparency in that. And I'm wondering, kind of going back to what you were saying about like the early 2000s, going on tour and also experiencing depression. Can you talk about that a bit more? Because a lot of people feel like when you're successful, then you shouldn't be depressed.
Again, I just remember Tina Knowles, telling me, Michelle, do you remember the time I would come in your room and I'd say, girl, open up these curtains, and it took her to help me remind those, bring back to my memory of those dark moments. I remember so scared to release my own solo music. That was heightened anxiety. The irritability. But I'm so thankful that I was able to carry on. With Beyonce and Kelly, they were my safe space. They were my safe place. As long as I was with them, I was fine. They didn't know really until 2018, 2019, the severity of what I'd been walking through. And it's not because I didn't want them to know. Back in that day, I just didn't have language for it. Now I do. And, there are a few times, the girls were like, do you think you were depressed and around so and so time, during this time. And I was like, now that we think about it, yeah, I definitely could have been dealing with some depression. People might think you can have it all. And I say this all the time. I need to make a T-shirt, but success does not heal trauma.
You just stepped on some toes right there.
Success does not heal trauma. However, it gives me the resources now to treat it. And it also gives me the resources and the means to pay it forward. When I see someone else suffering, it's nothing for me to help prepay some sessions for somebody. I don't boast about it. It's nothing for me to, hear about an amazing retreat that's changed my life. And I love to send people there. But success did not heal my trauma. Only processing it in a safe space with a credentialed counselor, therapist, prayer, and being around safe people who won't judge you, whom you're able to talk about those experiences with.
Yeah.
But, people, they really come down on public figures and celebrities or high profile people when a person says that they've been dealing with depression. I know even a number of women who talk about having postpartum depression.
Yeah.
You're a millionaire. You have nannies. You shouldn't. And it's like, have a millionaire and a nanny does not make my hormones different than yours.
Right.
Strip all of that away. Strip our platforms, how many followers a person has, your tax bracket. Strip that all away. We're the same.
Mm-hmm.
We are the same. We're going to bleed. We're going to have sinus infections, allergies. The tax brackets didn't care who had COVID. COVID didn't care. COVID struck everybody. Depression, anxiety, PTSD, postpartum depression, PMDD. All these things will strike at a person no matter their color, no matter their socioeconomic background, no matter if your daddy's a doctor. I was in a treatment facility for depression with a young lady whose father was a neurosurgeon. Mm-hmm. Even he couldn't help his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right? So let's strip away everything that we think a person has. It doesn't, money doesn't make depression go away. It doesn't. It could make it worse because everybody wants your money once you got it.
Say that. I know, because when you get to a certain level of success, like people do get to that point where they might be wanting to like take advantage of you or like want things from you.
And just know success is not measured upon selling out arenas. When I do my discussions on mental health, measure your success based on if you just want to get out the bed today.
Yes.
That's successful. For a person that's depressed, getting out the bed, brushing your teeth, and taking a shower, that's successful. Getting everybody up and out the house on time, on your way to work, on the way to school, that's success. So graduating with your degree, getting that job you dreamed of, that can be success. But don't measure success based off of a certain income. All right. So you can get your kids to school. Make sure that you got your food in the crock pot so that all y'all can eat when everybody get off work and come home from school and still deal with depression. I have to keep driving that home.
Yes.
Because, touring across the world, it didn't erase it. I was able to suppress it for a very, 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 very long time. But I'm so glad to, get the help that I needed, unpack it, uproot it, and continue thriving now.
Yeah, and I love how you talked about how prayer kind of pushed you and pulled you through this entire process. I would love to hear a little bit more about how your faith kind of brought you through all of this.
Absolutely. One of my favorite songs is by J.J. Harrison called You're Gonna Live. All right.
Yes.
The song is 15 minutes.
Yes.
So I listen to that song every morning. And if I have guests over my house, they also have to listen to me blasting that song throughout my home. You're going to live. It says you're going to live to see it happen. You're going to live to see it happen. Whatever your it is, you can live to see it happen. There was a church that I was attending when I first moved to Atlanta, called The Square. They literally loved me to life. I remember sitting in the back of that church, not able to raise my hands in worship. But week after week after week, I started moving closer and closer to the front. Wow. And Pastor Phil Manginelli and his wife, and then some folks from my hometown in Rockford, Illinois, loved me to life. My tribe of prayer warriors, people calling me to make sure I was eating right and working out. Shout out to my homie Ray, who at the time was working me out every single day. It took working out. There was a time, y'all, I was only going to church, therapy, and the gym. Church, therapy, gym. Church, therapy, gym. Church, therapy, gym. And that, I knew there was a time where I felt really hopeless, like I didn't want to live. I felt like I've lived a great life. I felt like, what more can I do? Getting married and having kids wasn't like on my priority list, because I felt like, what is marriage and children going to add? I'm good. I'm okay. And I remember playing Let's Make a Deal with God. Like, God, I'm good. Take me out the game. Mm-hmm. Then there was a time where it turned into, yes, I feel hopeless. Yes, I'm feeling like at the bottom of the barrel in this pit. But I could just see myself looking up, like, okay, God, I do want to live. Mm-hmm. I do want to live. And that's when I checked myself into the treatment facility in 2018.
What was it like checking yourself in?
Oh, child. Well, I thought I was going to get away with it. I thought that I could check in under my first name and that nobody would know who I was. Mm-hmm. I checked. I all I had on, I think I had on like a black sweatsuit and a hat. I hadn't waxed my mustache, I hadn't done nothing, but I knew that I needed help, and I knew that desperation and vanity, I knew that shame and vanity all had to go out the window, because I just knew at that time I needed help. Mm-hmm. And the people were very, very kind. The nurses they felt so bad for me because I didn't have no underwear. I didn't have any clothes. I literally came in with what I had on. Mm-hmm. And if they had a bed for me, they checked me in. Y'all, I got a corner suite. It was so... I had my own room. It was a little sweet, honey. It was, your corner rooms are always going to be a little bigger, whether it's a hotel, get you a little in-unit townhome. For some reason, they're going to be the biggest. Just a little FYI. Ask your realtor. Don't fight me. I believe I know what I'm talking about.
You do. I used to work in an inpatient hospital, so I like to hear people's experiences with that.
And checking in was fine. They were very kind to me. I did not like the powdered eggs at all. I knew they were powdered, but I had to eat. But what I noticed, y'all, everybody there looked like us. Wow. No one was twitching. Nobody was having the look of mental illness. Nobody was tripping out. Now, I'm sure that they had a ward for maybe some more severe cases, but where I was, maybe because I was a little more stable, there were people there that were definitely struggling with loss, identity, not feeling like they couldn't be who they wanted to be and wanting to kill themselves. People feeling like there is no hope for their condition. It was just amazing to see. It was amazing to see. And then TMZ found out. I don't know, to this day, I don't know who alerted them, but my management or PR got a phone call saying, hey, we are aware of Michelle's whereabouts. And so they got in touch with me. My management got in touch with me. Now, mind you, when you check yourself into a treatment facility, You cannot have your phone. You cannot have your belongings at all. They don't care who you are. You can't have it. So I remember them having to call the nurse's desk. Then I had to go use a separate phone. And I just remember telling him, hey, I've been telling people since 2013 to get help if you need it. Now I have to take my own advice. And that's just the statement that we released. And I stayed in there maybe 2 more days. But by that point, I got afraid that my privacy was compromised. So I moved to more intensive outpatient care instead. So, but again, I took the risk knowing that it's a possibility somebody would know who I was, but I didn't care. Again, worried about what people gonna say, worried about what people are gonna think has to go out the window if you really want to get help. Yeah. And you don't have to be like me screaming from the mountaintop. You don't have to be like me and be a mental health advocate. But, I won't judge you. The people who love you and want to see you win and really thrive won't judge you either. Should you go get help?
I think that's the message that people need to hear, because far too often we do allow the stigma, what the community might say, being perceived as weak, being perceived as, I'm not strong enough, I should be able to accomplish all these things. And that a lot of time prevents people from receiving the treatment that they need.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was something about being at that mental wealth expo. There was a all male panel.
I love that.
And all of them were open about their diagnoses, their journey. And I was like, ooh, they was fine. Seeing them so bold and unashamed, I was like, man, if y'all single, it was the sexiness of a man.
Oh yeah.
Talking about he's in therapy and he's able to articulate his emotions and what's going on. Didn't make him weak. It just made him in tune, and it just makes him makes him know how to hold conversation. Versus just, I'm straight, what up? I'm good.
Yes.
I was like, if I was into like multiple relationships, I'd be like, all of y'all. We'd all be married. I'd be married to all of y'all. And I say that respectfully. Just seeing all those black men up there.
Yeah.
Because men, period, you're taught to suck it up, tough it up, don't cry, don't talk about anything that's going on in your life, get over it. Then us that come from that strong black woman, she's going to have her superwoman cape on 24 hours, 7 days a week. She's going to continue to carry that household, knowing she just wants to rest, knowing she just wants to sit down with the counselor and say, I'm tired. And that's okay. And so that is why everything from now on, from that point of checking into a treatment facility, I called my book checking in. I called my podcast checking in. And it was to take the power back in those 2 words that was meant to humiliate me or possibly destroy me.
I love that. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Listen.
Take the power back.
Taking the power back, and also don't what you doing me to death. Show me that you have some emotional intelligence. Like talk about what you said in therapy. Like don't.
And you mean to tell me you're thriving, it's treated, you're stable, and you're still successful, and you're doing your thing? You got a hold of that thing. It's one thing to have depression, but don't let depression have you.
Yes.
I can have a cold. I'm just not going to let it have me.
Yes, exactly.
So, ooh, child. Ooh, sorry.
You're good. I love that.
Yeah. Okay. So pivoting, were you ready to pivot?
No, you're good.
Pivoting, I would love to play a quick game with you.
Let's go, girls.
This or that. All right, so we're going to present you with two different topics, and you're going to have to pick one, okay?
Okay.
So the first question, while you queuing up your question, is R&B or gospel? Which one you choosing?
Depends what year R&B.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Let's say 90s for both.
Okay.
That's hard.
Okay, go. Oh shucks. 90s R&B.
90s
Okay,
R&B.
okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a little messy. Brandy or Monica?
Now you missed.
Now I'm sorry.
Nope.
Exactly. No. We love them both.
We love them both.
I used to sing background for Monica.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was my first professional music gig, was touring with Monica for a small season. So Street Symphony Monica, you know,
Wow.
Angel of Mine Monica, right?
Wow.
But what changed, you know, the game as far as how people do their background vocals, Full Moon Brandy.
Full Moon Brandy.
All right, so you know,
Yeah.
y'all
Yeah.
don't get me.
No, that was a perfect answer though. That was a perfect answer because you can't deny that. Like,
Yeah.
Brandy changed the game when it comes to like background vocals.
Yeah.
Everybody
yeah.
did it.
Yeah, her team, that team, you know, Rodney, Fred Jerkins, LaShawn Daniels, like beasts, absolute production beasts.
So love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got another one. Do you like podcasts or books?
Books. Isn't that horrible? Because I have a podcast. But I'm a page turner. I'm gonna try to get into audiobooks, but I'm an old school sitting on the plane reading a book.
I love that. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Yeah. I would love to know like what book has changed your life.
Wow, there's a book called Leverage that has changed my life as far as giving money, you know, how to give your money. And then a book that I'm reading now is called Mind Your Mindset. Right, yes. It's
Who is that by?
incredible. I got to get it downstairs. There's two authors.
Okay.
I just picked it up because the title intrigued me. But I can go get it. I'm so sorry.
You're good. No, you're
is new construction literally 2 stones throw from me. And all the dust is coming. Like they're tilling the ground for the grass and the sod to be put down. And it's coming through, and I don't know what to do other than get a hotel for the rest of the week, like, because it's I have my air purifiers, it's making me congested. Y'all, I took 2 COVID tests, they were negative, because I said, Lord, I got COVID, and it's like, ma'am, it's just your allergies, you're allergic to this red dirt here in Georgia, this Georgia red dirt, so excuse the coughing.
No, you're good. We're praying that you feel better.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, I have another question.
What's up?
Solo, you doing solo or background vocals? Which do you prefer?
I was just in the studio a couple of weeks ago, and I love background vocals. I love the layering.
Yeah.
I could do an album full of background vocals. Like, I just love how they all come together. When you unmute them and then they all so background vocals for me.
Okay. I think I'm the same.
I would say the same.
We're the same.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, okay, I just want to transition a bit. So we talked a bit about faith, and we talked about how like you definitely relied on your faith in God and how that helped you to kind of persevere in life. Was there ever a time where you felt as though you may have struggled in your faith, and how did you overcome that?
Have I ever struggled in my faith? I want to say no. Even if I felt the times where I was always going to be imperfect. Even when I wasn't doing what I knew that I should do, I never lost my faith, never even questioned my faith. That's the only reason why I think I can persevere.
Hodi, it's Wangeshi.
And Brian, aka MC Baddie B.
From the Untitled Africans podcast.
If you love funny but insightful takes on the culture, then you'll love Untitled Africans.
A show where we talk about growing up Zillennial Africans,
coming of age BS,
social issues,
Black music and film,
and everything on your timeline.
Be sure to check us out and subscribe.
Karibu.
And just be resilient and come back and keep going. It literally is the mercy and grace of God. Yeah. It's something on the inside of me that literally says, keep going when others may have quit. I can't quit. You know, the Mary Mary sing the song, you know, I think it originated by the late James Cleveland, but it says, I just can't give up now. I come too far from where I started from. Yeah. Nobody told me the road would be easy. You know, so I can't give up now. When you look back of how far you come, like, you want to go back there? No, ma'am. Nope. Yeah. Nope. I'm good. Keep going forward. Keep moving forward. I promise you, keep moving forward, and you'll be able to look back, literally in your rear view mirror. Yeah. It's meant to look at what's behind you.
That's a word.
You know. Yeah, so keep moving forward. You may fail, you may stumble. I keep seeing these. I don't know if somebody's got a book coming out. I don't know why. I've even heard someone say failure isn't final. And I think maybe somebody has a book about failure. Like, it's good if you fail. Yeah. Because you can only reassess and come back even better. Yeah. Now, if you fail and quit, that lets a person know maybe the agenda or where your heart really was.
That part. Yeah. That part.
But if you fail at something and you get up and keep going, maybe you're called to it. And maybe you know, okay, maybe I failed because I didn't have the right team, or maybe I let people get in my ear. I got discouraged. I got lazy. I procrastinated too much. Okay, now I've got everything I need on the inside of me. Okay, and God's gonna give you the people along the way to keep going on the journey. I promise you, you've come too far to look back and decide to go back. Keep moving forward, especially in your mental health journey. Yeah, you know, when you get low, you know, life will life. But, you know, I'm thankful just to have just certain tools to be like, life is gonna life. People will people, you know. But don't let that get. I refuse to get back in the bed for 6 weeks at a time. Yeah, I'm losing time. I'm losing opportunities, and it's like the time where you're down. It almost takes that same amount of time to get back up healthy. I've noticed that it would take me such a long time to get back in a good place again. You know, so no. I nip things in the bud. I set boundaries. No is no. Yeah. And that's what it is.
Yeah. I love that answer. I know that would be so encouraging for people to hear.
Absolutely.
I know we're running low on time, but I do have one more question. So in terms of like functioning in ministry and marketplace, right? So we do both, and we know you do both as well. How do you continue to show up as your authentic, churchy, Jesus self in these places where everybody might not believe the same way as you, and still be a light to others?
There's no magic plan, no magic potion. You just show up. If you booked me because you know what I'm about.
Yes.
So I'm gonna show up. If it's an elegant gala, I can't have a Baptist fit like I would at a gospel award show or at church. Okay. I know how to conduct myself, but the majority of the people who book me for something, you know what you're going to get. It's so funny because there's a show that I did. It's coming out in 2024, and before you knew it, I was like, God is on the inside of you. Now, this is going to be on a mainstream network.
Oh, I love this.
And before you know it, that person that evangelist just came out of me. And I was like, we can't take you nowhere. But, if you give me a chance to speak life inside a person, I'm always going to bring it back around to the one who knows you best, which is the one who created you.
Yeah.
Which is God. So I was just like, did I really go Juanita Bynum on her? I did.
I'm here for it. Come on, prophetess.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I just want to encourage you ladies, keep going. I love when, you guys encourage people about vision, and walking in their purpose. I love that. Was just, I do my research on who I get to talk to as well. And, y'all just encouraging people when they feel alone on their entrepreneurial journey, and the tips and the tools and the mentorship or the guidance that you guys are providing other Black women. And I'm sure you are inclusive of everyone, and thank you also for not hiding your faith and what you believe. And I really believe there's great reward in that, and there's great longevity when people know, okay, I know what these girls stand for. And so keep going in your journey. Y'all are absolutely amazing. I can't believe how identical y'all look. It's not fair. And and thank y'all for having me on y'all's podcast.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
We appreciate you for
Thank
your
you
yes
so
with
much.
your busy schedule.
And the encouraging words.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I received it.
Is y'all's podcast audio and video?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay, good. Okay, I couldn't tell because I know mine is just audio, and so I know we just have little snippets of the visual. But I didn't know if it was also visual. So cool. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
We find that it trips our audience out when they see our faces together.
Yeah.
So we like to keep it that way.
So, have y'all ever played tricks on people you love on if you're dating? That's the trick that people do. Can you trick each other's, friends?
No. Okay, so we could, but have we ever? No.
You think that's corny when people like twins should always trick each other's boyfriends?
So, okay, there was once where I sat in her class, like in college, but that was the extent that was the full extent to how we would do that.
And wait, no, there was this one time I was walking on campus and one of your friends started to approach me. He played on the football team and started to hug me. And I was like, no, I'm not her. I'm not her. So I shut that down real quick. Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
Well, we appreciate you, Michelle. Yes.
Okay. I thank y'all, and to everybody listening, thank y'all for putting up with my congestion. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And make sure you guys tune in next Friday to another Double Dose episode. All right, y'all. Have a great night.
McDonald's Change of Fashion program is helping boost the careers of 5 rising Black designers. Why does it matter? We asked fashion journalist Zoe Washington.
Black culture has a major influence on fashion that helps the industry generate $350 billion in the U.S. alone, but only 7.3% of American designers are Black.
So McDonald's is helping boost the careers of 5 rising Black designers. Learn more on IG at We Are Golden.
Statistics provided by ZP.com as of 2021 and Statista.com.